Mic check, 1, 2. Mike, hello, check, mic check.
How much is it raining now? It's about the same slow drizzle, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Look across there.
Welcome to Hobby's Dry Cleaner and Body Shop. Can I help you?
It is. Kind of wet.
Ready when you are.
Right here, partner. That'll be $24.50 plus tax.
Okay, John. Jeff Reed and myself will be opening the program up. I'll actually be the first human voice that you hear.
I didn't ask for this thing. Are the in thing this season? I don't care if they are the in thing. I don't want you. Certainly are. You don't get the feeling that folks in service industries have forgotten about the service part of their job? At Johnson Cleaners, we happen to think that you're the most important person involved in our business. Customer satisfaction is our #1 priority, and that's why we offer such a wide range of cleaning services. If you have a special cleaning problem, bring it to Johnson Cleaners, downtown Benton. It's on my desk. I'm sure you'll pass that button when you brought it in. Avoid this problem. Come to Johnson Cleaners, downtown Benton. Before I use it.
High concert will foster global economic so deter insurance agent. When your many service stations close up, you arrange to take it, then drove out and picked up the concert, and you can stay with the
Mitch McDonald at 721 West South Street in McClendon Center, Benton. Let's go live to North Little Rock, Ole Main, where Bobby Renson, Jeff Reed, and Sue Sullivan are standing by.
Thank you very much. We are live at the North Little Rock High School Stadium. Of course, North Little Rock Northeast plays here, along with North Little Rock Ole Main. The Benton Panthers coming into this ball game with a record of 2 wins and no losses. Of course, coming off big wins against Little Rock McClellan and the Malvern Leopards, and the North Little Rock Ole Main Wildcats coming into tonight's ball game with a record of 0-2 with losses to Arkadelphia and Little Rock Mills. We'll be back with more in 1 minute. Well, they're getting started early. It's only...
Just give it to me right before they line up the shit out.
Hey, go ahead and take this, Steve. That way.
Information, call Thomas Insurance Agency, listed in your Benton and Little Rock telephone books.
Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2, 3.
But afterwards, Dad wasn't feeling well.
Well, they're fixing it.
We reached the Memorial Hospital's emergency department, and they saw him right away. We found out later it was a heart attack. But because we got quick treatment...
Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2.
The first in line from off the I'm glad to have a good hospital.
Have they not?
Back live in North Little Rock, our non-conference ball game between the Benton High School Panthers and the North Little Rock Ole Main Wildcats. Let's go down to the field and our national anthem. Steve Sullivan for the night's play-by-play.
Thank you, Bob. And a change in kickoff duties tonight. Getting the call from Coach Dwight Fite, Jeff Reed, is Randy Russell, the big 6'2", 215-pound defensive end.
Yeah, Steve, they had a kickoff in practice yesterday, and Randy won. So, of course, he kicked off late in the game against Malvern one time, so this will officially be a second turn.
Back deep for North Little Rock Ole Main. They have some dangerous return men. Mike Cooksey, a 170-pound senior, stands at the 6-yard line, flanked at the 15-yard line by a real speed burner, Dion Ackland. And on the left side of the field, Tony Phillips. Russell's kick is short. It's going to hit at the 20, be fielded at the 15-yard line. Cuts across the 17 to the 20, hit and dropped at the 22-yard line. So a squib kickoff returned by Steve McMahon for North Little Rock Ole Main, covered well by the Benton kick team. And as a result, Ole Main will take over 1st and 10 at its own 23-yard line. Set the offense for the Ole Main Wildcats, who come in 0-2. The quarterback, a very talented senior, Greg Fudge. He's 19 for 32 through the air for 319 yards this season. They'll run from the I, the up back Roger Wright, a 155-pound junior. The tailback Mike Cooksey, 170-pound senior. Coming near side of the field at the split end position, Tony Phillips, a 165-pound sophomore. As they split receivers left and right, Fudge turns and gives to the deep back, and running over the right side for 4 yards is Mike Cooksey as he gets across the 25. Shane Smith up from his safety spot right away on the hit. So it'll be second down, 6 yards to go for Ole Main. And Jeff Reed a little surprised in that first play, expecting Ole Main to maybe open it up.
I was talking with Coach Perry Goodell before the game, and he was expecting the bomb on the first play, so they may throw it here. I see number 17, Deion Ackland, going to the top.
Ackland, a fine one as he goes far to the left side. Ackland went 85 yards on a kickoff return last week against Arkadelphia. Fudge turns, gives to Cooksey, breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, spins. There goes the football. It's loose, and Benton has it at the 29-yard line, and who else but Scott Long comes up with the football. Mr. Big Play for Benton. And the Panthers are in business. 1st and 10, they'll take over at the Ole Main 29-yard line.
Cooksey wasn't really seemed to be hit hard there. He was fighting for extra yardage, and somebody got a hand on the ball, and it squirmed loose.
So the offense takes over at the Ole Main 29-yard line, just underway, 10:56. Clock on the move, first quarter, no score. Game number 3 of the year for the Benton Panthers. Tommy Jumper, the cool senior quarterback, brings him out. Backs in a bone. Greg Holmes gets the start at fullback tonight. Near side of the field, Jason McGee, the turn, the give to Lincoln. He goes right side, nothing there. Give Craig a gain of about 2 yards and call it second down, 8 yards to go as they mark the ball at the Ole Main 27-yard line. Call it second and 8.5. And Holmes starting tonight, nothing against Robert McNeely.
Coach Fight said that Robert missed practice a couple of days this week with getting his wisdom teeth cut out. So Greg Holmes, a hard-working senior, and he decided to give him the start.
Near side of the field at split end, sophomore Jake Goheen into the ball game. Back still in the bone. Scott Long, tight end right side. Jumper wants to throw. He's got time. Looking. Now he's on the run. Tucks it under. Gets back to the line of scrimmage before he's stuck good. So it'll be a 3rd down and 10 situation, called a loss of 1.5 yards. Tim Moore, big 220-pound sophomore with the hit for Ole Main. Tommy initially with time. Must have been a good job by the Ole Main secondary.
Yeah, here early, Coach Fight and the Panthers don't really know what to expect because they didn't have a film exchange this week with Ole Main, and they're kind of going to be feeling each other out here early.
Call it 3rd and 10.5 as Monty Cornwell brings in the play, goes wide to the right side. Tight end left side is Scott Long. Backs in the bone as Jumper looks over the 5-man Ole Main front. Tommy turns, play action. He's got time. He's looking for Long, fires sideline. Scott gets a hand on it, but can't hold on. It'll be overthrown and incomplete. And it'll be 4th down, 10 yards to go, 10.5 from the Ole Main 30. And no doubt about it, talking with Jason McGee, Dwight Fight is, they're going to go for it.
Where the kicking game has been for Benton so far, having made 1 of 6 extra points, and that one being run in, you'd expect them to go for it. Plus, they're at the 30-yard line. It's deep in Ole Main territory. You've got nothing to lose early.
Scott double covered on that last play. It would have taken a perfect pass from Tommy Jumper. 4th down, 10 yards to go. Call it 10.5. McGee wide to the right side. Jumper back to throw. He's got time. Fires over the middle for Scott. Juggles it and can't hold on. Incomplete, and Ole Main will take over at the 30-yard line. And defensive Scott Long, the pass just a foot behind him. It would have been a heck of a catch in traffic.
He was in big traffic. There were about 3 Wildcats there all around him. Of course, the week Scott had last week and what he's done in the past and his reputation, he's going to be followed by a lot of folks.
So Ole Main defense comes up big on the first series after a turnover on its own 30-yard line. Held Benton on 4 tries, and they take back over. Greg Fudge backs in the eye. Fudge turns, gives to the fullback. He's nailed to the line of scrimmage. Kirk Shelnut comes up right away with the hit from his linebacker spot. Give Roger Wright a gain of 1.5 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8.5. Bobby Van Cleve also sticks a hat in there. And with 9:03 to play in the first quarter, still no score as Ole Main takes it for the 2nd time in the ball game. And to this point, Jeff Reed, Ole Main very conservative.
They're kind of course, with film exchange, you don't know what to expect. They may be trying to lull Benton to sleep.
2nd down, 8 yards to go. Receivers left and right. Fudge turns, gives to Cooksey, tries the right side. gets 4 or 5 close to the 40-yard line, they'll mark it at the 38. The sticks at the 40, so call it a 3rd down and 2 situation. For the Ole Main Wildcats, coached by Greg Burrell, opened up the season with a 21-14 loss to a good Mills team and came back last week and lost to Arkadelphia 31-12, but that score deceiving. Ole Main with several chances to score inside deep in Arkadelphia territory and came up empty. Big play, 3rd down, 2 yards to go. Ole Main its own 38. Fudge turns, goes right up the middle for a 1st down. Sticks his head across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Delayed for a second after a snap, then turned it back up inside. And Greg Fudge, 6'3", 190 pounds. So he's got the equipment to work with.
He's a big quarterback, and we haven't heard a lot about his running ability, mostly about his arm, but he got the 1st down.
So Ole Main with its first down of the game outside its own 40-yard line. 7:56 clock on the move, and the penalty flags fly. And it could be motion against Ole Main in our first penalty of the ball game.
Looked like Ole Main was trying to go on a quick count there with the quarterback sneak again, and the quarterback in the center didn't let everybody get set properly, and that's why the penalty.
So 5-yard step off against Ole Main will bring up a 1st and 15 situation as they step it back to the Wildcat 36-yard line. Greg Fudge, Jeff touched on his passing ability, 319 yards, very fine percentage in 2 ball games, 19 for 32. Center receiver far left side, Grant Tomlin. Near side of the field, the split end is Tony Phillips. Fudge turns, pitches to Cooksey. He crosses the 30, 35 to the 36-yard line. I'll call it 40-yard line to the 41. Call it a gain of 4.5 yards and call it 2nd down, and now 11 yards to go. 7:36, clock on the move, 1st quarter. Ole Main with its 2nd possession of the ball game. So far, scoreless. 2nd down, 11 yards to go. Near side of the field, the split end is Tony Phillips. Nose of the ball just outside the Ole Main 40-yard line. They have to get into Benton territory at about the 49 for a 1st down. Fudge turns, gives to Cooksey. Tries the right side, coming up from his quarterback spot. Fine hit. Robert McNeely nailed him in the backfield. Call it a loss of 1 and make it a 3rd and 12 situation. McNeely came up strong.
Fudge tried to hit off tackle there and then bounced outside when that was crowded, and McNeely was right there. Wow, he came up with the ball and he wanted it.
3rd down, call it 11.5 yards to go. They mark the ball right on the Ole Main 40-yard line. Dion Ackland comes near side of the field. Ackland, tremendous athlete, 145-pound junior with blazing speed. Shane Smith looks him eye to eye at the line of scrimmage. Fudge turns, fires, he's got a man in and out of his hands, and almost intercepted by Monty Cornwell. Incomplete. Monty thought he might have stole one right there, but the official was right on the play.
He tried for the Oscar, as they say when you try to fake one, but another deflected pass.
Nice pass by Fudge, just went right off McMahon's hands. He was wide open and was close to 1st down yardage. So it'll bring up the first punting situation of the ball game. And Tony Phillips will handle the punting. Part-time flanker stands back at his 26-yard line, and Jake Goheen is the deep man. The sophomore stands at the Benton 26. Goheen will take it at the 25, goes to the 30, cuts right side, now moves, spins, breaks the tackle, and is down at the 31-yard line. So the butterflies, I imagine, were apparent on that play for Jake Goheen, the sophomore, getting thrown right into the fire there as he gets some punt return action.
Jake Coach Fight wanted Jake to do a lot of punt return duty, but he broke his collarbone when the Senior League All-Star baseball team was in the Southern Regional Tournament, and he's just returned to practice this week.
So the Panther offense on the field for the 2nd time tonight. No score. Ole Main and Benton. 6:16 clock on the move, 1st quarter. Near side of the field, Jason McGee backs in a bone. Jumper turns. Gives and running hard up the middle for a gain of 7 or 8 yards. Craig Lincoln. So call it 2nd down and 2 yards to go. Jumper's fake into the line, or looked like a fake, so good when he carried it down the line we had to wait a few seconds to find if indeed he did give the ball off.
I was looking for the pitch there. Lincoln did a good job running tough inside.
2nd down, 2 yards to go. 5:42. Clock on the move, 1st quarter. Benton with its 2nd offensive possession of the game. Jumper turns, gives right up the middle, and it'll be a 1st down as Craig Lincoln hurdles across the 40 to the 43-yard line, and the Panthers have their first down of the ball game.
Coach Fight may have gotten a good look at Ole Main's defense on the first series there, so now he can kind of figure out what's going on.
Craig Lincoln carrying the ball the last 2 times for 12 yards on the season. Craig averaging 4.5 yards a carry. He's toted the ball now 28 times. Jumper back under center. Goheen comes near side of the field. Tommy turns, gives right up the middle. Greg Holmes with his first carry of the ball game spins across the 45. They'll spot it at the 46. It'll be second down, 7 yards to go. Andre Isbell covering for Ole Main on the play. And running in with the offensive play for Benton, one of their 2 talented senior split ends, Jason McGee. Second down, 7 yards to go for Benton. The nose of the football touching the Panther 45-yard line. Get a first down, they have to get to the Ole Main 48-yard line. Near side of the field, McGee the split end. Jumper fakes, now gives the Shelnut, cuts across the grain for a first down. Oh, beautiful run as he gets down to the Ole Main 45-yard line. Reminiscent of a Franco Harris run wearing that 34. Kirk really picked his way and picked up really more than there was there.
The play was designed to go to the left side, and it was clogged up, and he saw the hole back on the inside and cut back and made a good run.
So Shelnut moves the ball into Ole Main territory at the Wildcat 45.5, call it. Near side of the field is Monty Cornwell, 4:27. Play in the first quarter, no score. Benton and Ole Main. Jumper turns, gives to Lincoln. There goes the football. Scramble for the football, and it looks like the Wildcats may have it. Waiting for the official signal, and yes, Ole Main comes up with the football. Craig went firing into the right side, and the ball just squirted loose. Obviously, someone stuck a hat in from Ole Main and knocked the football up in the air.
Looked like Craig was stopped, and he was fighting for some extra yardage, and then somebody came in with the hit, and the ball went flying. It was a bad break for the Panthers. They had a good drive going.
The second turnover of the ball game. Ole Main turned it over on its initial drive, gave Benton the ball at the Wildcat 30-yard line. Panthers couldn't do anything with it. Let's see what Ole Main does with the turnover. Clock now approaching 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Still no score. Fudge wants to throw. He's got the time. He's going deep for Ackland against Cornwell. He's out there. It's going to be complete but out of bounds. So it'll be second down and 10 yards to go. But Dion Ackland was out and open on the right side behind Monty Cornwell, and Fudge has the arm to get it there. That time he just fired out of bounds.
I didn't even see another Ole Main receiver on the play. They held everybody in and blocked and said, Ackland fly, and he can do a good job. The ball was just caught out of bounds.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Tony Phillips comes near side of the field in a flanker position. Backs in the eye. Roger Wright, the up back. Mike Cooksey, the deep back. Second and 10. Ole Main at zone 43. Fudge, it's going to be the draw call to Cooksey. Running hard. He's tripped up as he gets across the 45 to the 46-yard line. It'll be second down. Now it'll be third and 7 yards to go for Ole Main, and a good job by the Panther defensive front, not falling for the fake.
Bobby Van Cleve was blocked and got up in time to make the play on Cooksey coming through on the draw.
Van Cleve, perhaps the most consistent of the Benton defenders, right on the top of the tackle charts, and Bobby does a fine job. 5'10", 170-pound senior. 3:25 to play in the first quarter. Ole Main with a big 3rd and 7 situation at zone 46. Ackland comes wide to the near side of the field. Fudge wants Ackland. Pumps, fires, way overthrown and intercepted. It's McNeely crossing the 40, 45, 50 across midfield and down to the Ole Main 40-yard line. Oh, Fudge overthrew that one by about 8 feet, and Robert McNeely said, Christmas early.
If Robert McNeely would have been on Ole Main, he could have crawled into the end zone. He was so wide open and so far behind everybody. I'm sure Craig Lincoln's feeling a little better now that McNeely's come up with the turnover, and hopefully Benton can continue the offensive momentum that it had just a moment ago.
Second turnover of the ball game as the clock approaches 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Still no score. The Panthers looking for their 3rd win of the season, facing the Ole Main Wildcats. Jake Goheen comes near side of the field. The senior Tommy Jumper out under the ball, turns and gives to Lincoln. Runs hard off the left side for 3 yards, just off the tackle behind Jeff Rivers. It'll be second down and 7 yards to go for the Panthers as they mark the football at the Ole Main 37-yard line. So we see Dwight Fight. Craig Lincoln fumbling in the previous series right away, back in the fire getting the football.
Got to rebuild the confidence of what so far this season has been the leading rusher for Benton.
Second and 7 at the Ole Main 37-yard line. Jason McGee comes near side of the field. Scott Long, talented tight end, goes right side. The give to Lincoln, he's hitting the backfield, fights forward, for maybe a half a yard. Call it third down, and now still a good part of 7 yards. Fine job, Tim Brown, 185-pound senior on that defensive front. And along with Andre Isabel and a host of Ole Main Wildcats, really did a good job reading that play.
Ole Main said they didn't have any film of Benton, so I guess they don't really know what to expect for the Panthers, except that they can throw the ball well.
Coming in on offense now, we see Bill Lincoln come into the ball game, and going far right side is Cornwell. The give goes to Shelnut. Pounds left side. He's going to get 3, but he's going to be shy of a first down by a couple, and Dwight Fite just might have been setting up now what is a 4th and 2.5 situation rather than going for the whole chunk on third down.
The Panthers forgetting the punting game. Here comes Joe Goheen with the play.
Goheen comes into the ball game. Light rain continues to fall here at North Little Rock Stadium. Pretty good crowd on hand for this ball game, which to this point is scoreless. 1:31. Clock on the move. First quarter. Big 4th and 2 for Benton. The ball's at the Ole Main 33. The first down marker just outside the Ole Main 30-yard line. Jumper gets a good look at the defensive front. Tried to draw him off sides, and I believe the sophomore on the right side for Benton jumped, and this one could go against the Panthers.
Sam McCampbell, who is helping with playing with spotting Jeff Riversum at the right tackle. They had Ole Main jumping there, but he jumped too. Sophomore mistake.
Obvious the plan there. Dwight was relying on Tommy Jumper. He did it a few times last week to draw him off with the cadence, and Sam got carried away.
It's tough. Sam hasn't played a whole lot this year, and it's got to be tough on the youngster coming in.
So it'll be 4th down. Now call it 8 yards to go. Goheen comes near side of the field at split end. Scott Long, tight end, right side. Jumper under center. The back stay in the bone. Now fumble on the snap. Scramble. Doesn't make any difference. It'll be Ole Main football. And once again, the offense with a golden opportunity comes up empty. Can't cash in on another turnover.
Coach Fite is showing a lot of faith in his defense here at the 40-yard line and going for it.
So Ole Main will take over the football, which in a game that's been a defensive struggle. 1:02 to play in the first quarter. No score. Neither team has threatened to this point offensively. Coming near side of the field at a split end position, a guy that could break the game open right away. Dion Acklin, he can fly, a 145-pound junior. Fudge turns and takes it off left tackle himself, faked the handoff, and goes for 2 yards. He's covered quickly as he gets to the 40-yard line. To call it second down, 8 yards to go. Greg Mundy along with Scott Long, as Mundy playing a little numbers game with us. Comes out in 66 tonight. He's been alternating between 66 and 54.
Greg had one of his jerseys stolen, so in one jersey he's 66, another one he's 54.
Second down, 8 yards to go for Ole Main. Quarterback Fudge, big old guy, gets under center, pitches back to Cooksey, cuts right side. He's hit twice, breaks those tackles, and finally nailed by Kirk Shelnut back at the line of scrimmage. And call it now third down and 8 yards to go. And Heath Nix was causing some problems in the backfield with 1 second, and that's the end of the first quarter. Your score after a quarter of play: Ole Main nothing, Benton nothing. Let's take a 60-second break. At North Little Rock Stadium, third down, 8 yards to go. Ole Main fumbled, snap. There's a scramble. Looks like Greg Fudge may have covered it, but there goes any chance for a first down. It'll be fourth down, 8 yards to go. You hear about a lot of fumbled snaps tonight. I remind you, Umbrella Central here at North Little Rock Stadium. They are out in full force, and a steady rain. I think it's picked up from game time. It was just a light rain falling at game time, more of a mist. Now pretty good rain falling out in the field, and I have a feeling turnovers will be a factor.
We were on the field early in the game, and it was in good shape, but as the rain falls, the ball gets slippery.
Back deep, Goheen at the 25. Snap is good. The punt is up. Line drive. Goheen's going to have to back up. Field it on the bounce at the 16. Cuts across the 20. 25. Makes a good move to the 30-yard line. And a nifty bit of running there by Jake Goheen as he gets out close to the 30-yard line, more or less picking his way forward. There was no wall set up. It was Goheen versus Ole Main.
Jake did a good job on that. He picked up the ball, kept it from rolling further and deeper in the territory, and then kind of picked his way for about 8 yards. You can't ask for more on a return except maybe to go all the way.
The Benton defense has been perfect tonight. The offense, uncharacteristically, has sputtered tonight. They're averaging 20 points a ball game. After all, they scored 20 in the opener and 20 in the second ball game. Both wins. Let's see if Tommy Jumper, the cool senior quarterback, can turn it around. He turns and gives to Shellnut. Fumble right at the line of scrimmage. Jumped covered on quickly by a Benton offensive lineman. Bill Frog right there, Johnny on the spot. No gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10, but the important thing, the Panthers hold on to the footballs. That ball popped loose early.
Ole Main's defense is hanging in tough.
It'll be 2nd down, call it 9.5 yards to go. Monty Cornwell brought in the play, comes wide to the near side of the field. He's lined up. Watching him closely is the host of Ole Main Wildcats lined up on their sideline. That's where the football is, near hash mark. Jumper, beautiful fake. He's going to bootleg it right side across the 30 and gets 2 yards out across to the 32, but the Ole Main defense didn't bite. Right there for the play, Steve McMahon, a 190-pound senior. Tommy Jumper, beautiful fake. He put the ball on his hip, went the whole 9 yards, and Ole Main didn't bite. They were right there, and with 10:03 to play in the second quarter, the offense once again faced with another big 3rd and 8 situation. Benton at its own 33.
Tommy looked like he had plenty of room to run there, but the quickness of the Ole Main defense showed. They made up for the ground in a hurry.
Goheen, single split end, goes wide to the far side. Scott Long, tight end right side. Jumper wants to throw. Here comes the rush. Screens it out to Lincoln. He's got running room. Across the 35, the 40. He's got a 1st down as he gets across the 42-yard line. Oh, and Dwight Fite with the perfect call. It brings us back to a play earlier in the year. Craig Lincoln was wide open, tried to one-hand it and dropped the football. This time he put it away and scurried for the 1st down.
Yes, that was against Malvern. Ole Main is rushing hard. They're sending their linebackers in passing situations, and they're watching on the deep passes, especially concentrating on long. The flats and underneath are wide open.
Oh, can't emphasize enough the coolness and savvy of Tommy Jumper. Does a tremendous job at quarterback. Now they'll go at the double split ends. Jason McGee, far side. Scott Long, near side. Backs in the bone. Jumper turns. Options at left side. Turns it up, but he's nailed as he gets to the 45-yard line. Call it a gain of maybe 1.5 yards and call it 2nd down, 8 yards to go. And that's a play that's been very successful for Benton this year. Tommy Jumper turning it in on the option, and I don't know if it's the wet field taking away a little of Tommy's quickness tonight or just Ole Main reacting that well.
I think from what I can tell, the personnel Ole Main has defensively, they're a very quick group.
Call it 2nd down, 7 now as they spot the nose of the football over the 45. Once again, double split ends. Cornwell to the right, Long to the left. Option right side. The pitch to Lincoln. He's running hard across midfield. Puts his head down and is popped at the Ole Main 46-yard line by Mike Cooksey, but not before Craig Lincoln picked up what looks to be another 1st down. The officials delay, now say, fellas, let's move the chain. It's going to have to be awful close before they bring those chains out with the rain falling tonight.
Well, that guy, he must have a good eye to spot all the way from across the field as close as it looked, but Benton will take it.
The ball was press box side. The sticks are over on the Benton side. 8:21 clock on the move, and the Benton offense for the first time in this ball game starting to kick into gear. No score. 8:14 to play in the 1st half. Long, wide to the left side. Wide right is Jake Goheen. Backs in the bone. McNeely at the fullback spot. Jumper turns. The football's on the ground. Scooped up by McMahon. The saving tackle is made by Tommy Jumper. McMahon picked it up on the fly and was off to the races, and Tommy Jumper saved 6 points by sticking his arm out and tripping up McMahon at the Benton 44-yard line. And plays like that can put you in the loss column real quick.
Boy, Jumper made a great play. He's not only a good quarterback, he's a good defensive back. McMahon was past him, and Tommy just dove and caught his feet and fortunately tripped him up.
So Ole Main takes over via turnover at the Benton 44-yard line. No score, 7:51 to play in the first half. What's been a sloppy ball game and 5 yards. Flags fly. Dion Ackland on the right side, the speedy split end for Ole Main. As I got a little quick with the mouth, got a little quick with his feet, and motion is called. It'll be first down and 15 yards to go. And you see mistakes plaguing both teams tonight. There could be some fiery halftime speeches.
I believe both coaches, of course, they've got to be glad that despite the mistakes that the teams have made, neither one is in a hole yet. It's still 0-0.
Combination of good defense and shoddy offense, the result resulting in a scoreless tie with 7:42, clock on the move. First and 15, Fudge turns, gives off the right side. No running room for Roger Wright. Call it a gain of 2 yards, and it'll be second down and 13 yards to go. To this point, Ole Main, Greg Burrell, very conservative. They've tried for the big play a couple of times, but only in like third down situations. So it'll be second down, 12 yards to go. The guy to watch goes far right side. That's Dion Ackland. Burnt Arkadelphia last week, couple of long plays. Backs in the eye. Fudge ready to get things going. Gives to Cooks. He's popped in the backfield. Vicious hit by Pill Lincoln. Lost his helmet on the play and dropped the runner 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and you have that chance in the eye. The back gets it about 6 yards in back of the line of scrimmage, and Lincoln was there, and it was hat on Cooksey. Down went Cooksey, and off went the hat.
He had a little help from his brother there, too. Craig and Randy Russell was in on the play.
So it'll be third down and 14 yards to go after a fine defensive play by the Panthers. Fudge with Phillips, wide to the left side, back to throw. He's got plenty of time, fires sideline. It's going to be out of bounds and incomplete. Monty Cornwell was over and the coverage was good. And once again, Ole Main looking to hit their split end. This time it was Tony Phillips. So we're back again in a punting situation with 6:32 to play in the first half. And what that turnover does is now put up the possibility of bad field position for the Panthers.
I think the wet football was starting to tell there. Fudge, who has a strong arm, he had nothing on that ball and it was fluttering like a quail that had been shot.
Dwight Fite opts to put his senior quarterback, Tommy Jumper, back in deep formation at the 15-yard line. Phillips waits for the snap, a little high, but he corrals it. Now nails the punt. Jumper quickly signals fair catch and makes it at the 16-yard line. 6:26, clock stopped while the Benton offense comes onto the field. Just about enough time for the Benton Panthers to go 84 yards, something they've done on occasion this year, but they haven't even shown the possibility of doing that tonight.
Benton has had a lot of trouble maintaining offensive flow. As soon as the offense gets moving a little bit, those turnovers and fumbles come into play.
Let's see if the offense can get something going. Goheen goes far side of the field. The ball, Benton on its own 16-yard line. Once again, no score. Benton at Ole Main. Scott Long, tight end right side. Backs in the bone. Once again, a steady rain falling here at North Little Rock Stadium. The give goes right up the middle. And once again, no running room. It'll be second down, 8 yards, call it 9 yards to go. Give to Robert McNeely into the ball game at fullback. 5'9", 185-pound senior. Robert earlier this game with a fine defensive play. It'll be second down, 8.5 yards to go as they spot the ball at the 18.5-yard line. Benton has to get to its own 26 for a first down. And once again, the clock running down inside 6 minutes to play in the first half.
Benton needs to move the ball. Turnover here could be fatal.
Jumper under center. McGee comes wide to the near side. Scott Long, tight end, far side. Jumper turns, gives up the middle. Once again, Benton taking no chances. Greg Holmes gets the call this time. Back in at the fullback. No, it's Robert McNeely into the game at fullback. 2 consecutive carries. It'll be third down, 6 yards to go. Clock on the move, 5:36 to go. And at this point, it's hard to say what Dwight will do. Pass or run, he's been satisfied so far just to stick it in the middle.
A pass seems risky on this end of the field, but the running attack has not exactly been the safest mode of transportation for Benton.
Third down, 6 yards to go, Panthers. The ball at their own 20-yard line. Jumper back to throw. He's got time, fires. He's got Cornwell at midfield. Monty with the catch, and he trips and falls at the Ole Main 48-yard line. Oh, a big reception, only the second of the year for Monty Cornwell. But Monty was flying all alone at the 50-yard line and actually made a fine catch.
There is an example of what having somebody like Scott Long would do. Scott forces so much attention that the other receivers can work one-on-one. Monty is not the fastest receiver in the world, but he's 6'4". You don't find many defensive backs who are that big, and he was wide open.
The protection was great, and Jumper got the football there. Tommy Jumper is yet to commit a turnover through the air this season, saying something when you've thrown the ball over 35 times. 1st and 10. The ball out into Ole Main territory at the Ole Main 48, right side. Craig Lincoln makes a nice move and darts to the 44-yard line. Call it 2nd down, 7 yards to go. And once again, we see the deliberate running of Lincoln. Effective. He takes his time. Wet turf, that's going to pay off.
Craig is a very deliberate runner, and he's very good at picking up holes.
The ball at the Ole Main 45-yard line. 2nd down, 7.5 yards to go. Near side of the field at the split end spot is Jason McGee. Scott Long, tight end left side. McNeely, Lincoln, and Shellnut behind Jumper. Jumper turns, gives the Shellnut, blasts off the right tackle for 2 yards. Call it 3rd down, 7 yards to go. And he busted right behind Greg Mundy, who's getting a little work at right tackle.
Shellnut didn't have much room there, but he hit the hole running hard.
3rd down, 3 yards to go. Monty Cornwell in with the play from Dwight Fite. Cornwell with a big reception to keep this drive alive. 3:46, clock on the move. Scoreless first half. Panthers trying to change that. Cornwell comes near side of the field. 3rd down, 3 yards to go. Scott Long once again lines up tight end to the left side. Jumper turns, gives the Shellnut. He cuts across, and he's going to be shy of a 1st down. He's inside the 40 to the Ole Main 39, but needs to get to the Wildcat 37-yard line. Call it about 1.5 yards, Jeff, with 3:19 on the clock.
You got to think with what the Panthers have done so far, the punting game is out of the question.
4th down, 1.5 yards. I'm wagering on a Jumper option keep, but he dives in about the tackle spot for the 1st down.
Call ahead of time here, Steve.
And it's going to be timeout on the field called by Ole Main. With that timeout, we'll take a break, a 30-second break. With the score, a couple of goose eggs, 0-0, Benton and Ole Main. Back at North Little Rock Stadium, Steve Sullivan, Jeff Reed, Bob Edmondson, the Panther broadcast crew, in a big play facing Dwight Fite's Benton Panthers. Call them the Fighting Panthers. They battled back last week when the odds were stacked against them. 15-6 in a rally for a 20-15 win on the Immaculate Reception. Jumper to Long, 50 yards. We could use just 2 here. 4th and 2. The ball at the Ole Main 40-yard line. Call it 39.5 with 3:06 to play in the first half. And if the Panthers are going to get any momentum going into the half, they're going to have to stick it for this 1st down.
Steve, this is a big play here. The Panthers, if they can get the 1st down, will be in excellent shape to go in and try to get a score before the half. If not, Ole Main holds. The Wildcats had the ball near midfield, and they could easily get the touchdown before the half, and that would be a big momentum lifter for either team.
Scott Long lines up at right halfback. Randy Russell comes in at the right tight end spot. McNeely the up back. Craig Lincoln at left halfback. Ole Main coaches trying to signal timeout. They don't get the call. Lincoln gets the call and gets the 1st down. Nifty bit of running, and I believe a good block on the corner by Randy Russell, and Lincoln turns it inside the 35 to the Ole Main 34-yard line. If you notice the pause in the delivery, I was waiting for Lincoln to make a decision on which hole to cut to.
Craig came very close to breaking that, Steve. That was perhaps a new version of the BB offense. Scott Long was in at halfback.
Missing Kelsey Dedman tonight. Nursing an injury, and we hope Kelsey will be back with us next week for the Arkadelphia game. He is sorely missed. Long returns to his tight end spot. The clock inside 3 minutes to play in the first half. No score. Jumper options, hurdles an Ole Main Wildcat and leans forward for a 0.5 yard. Fine defensive play again by defensive end Steve McMahon. And we see the athletic ability of Tommy Jumper hurdling a Wildcat to gain a 0.5 yard. But that's been the case tonight. The Ole Main defense has been stingy.
I can think of one occasion where Ole Main has allowed Benton to gain anything on the option play. They're playing it very well.
2nd down, 9.5 yards to go. The clock is a factor. 2:23 to go. in the first half, a scoreless half. The ball at the Ole Main 33-yard line. Monty Cornwell wide to the right side. Jumper options left. Tommy's going to keep, and he's going to be stuck after a gain of 2 yards. Tries to lean forward to the Ole Main 30-yard line, and I imagine at this point, Tommy Jumper, as cool as he is, he's got to be a little frustrated at how quickly Ole Main is filling the gaps. It's 3rd and 7 now, and another obvious passing situation for the Panthers.
Again, it was the option play, and it looked like there was room there. And when you get to the corner, all of a sudden there's the Ole Main defense to shut it down for a short gain.
The ball on the far side of the field. Goheen comes out wide to the near side. Tight end far side, Mr. Dependable, Scott Long. Jumper turns. He's got time to throw the ball. Here comes the pressure, and he goes down. Loss of, call it 8 on the play, as they're going to spot the ball. If we can get the yard markers back at the 39-yard line and bring up a 4th and 14 situation, and with 1:16 to go on the clock, no doubt about it, Dwight's going to go for it, and that closed up protection like that just instantly as Ole Main just fired in.
Ole Main, they see the obvious passing situations. They send everybody they can. I imagine the Panthers will run this down as long as they can before getting off this play.
Clock under a minute, reads 56. 4th down, 15 yards to go. Panthers at the Ole Main 39-yard line, no score. Jumper turns, has trouble with the snap. He's going to be hit again and dumped at the 40-yard line. And Tommy Jumper, once again, trouble with the snap, and we can probably attribute that to the wet football, and all the time he spent juggling with it, there was the play. Gave the Ole Main defense time to close in. Once again, the offense sputters, and with 46 seconds to play in the first half, Benton has to be careful of the big play.
Imagine we'll see Mr. Ackland here. There he goes.
Dion Ackland goes wide to the far side. Shane Smith comes right up in the line of scrimmage. He's going to look Ackland eye to eye. And I imagine Ackland will get plenty of attention. Fudge back to throw. Got the screen set up. Fires to Cooksey. He's nailed. The ball flies loose, incomplete. Oh, Bill Lincoln popped Cooksey. And there went the football, and Lincoln with 2 big plays in this first half.
I was talking to Coach Perry Goodell today about the play of the defensive ends, and they said Bill Lincoln is going to be a good one. It's just going to take a little time. This is his 3rd game. He's playing some junior varsity football, which gives him a couple more games. And it's showing tonight with experience. That was a great play right there.
Oh, the screen was set up. There were 4 Wildcats, except Lincoln was right in the middle of it. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Ole Main at its own 40. Fudge turns, runs the option, turns it inside. He's popped and down after a gain of 2. Bobby Van Cleve, Scott Long, and Bill Lincoln sticking his nose in again. The clock down to 22 seconds to go. A 3rd and 8 situation rolls inside 20 to 19 seconds to go. And this could be Ole Main's last opportunity as the clock approaches 10 seconds to play. And Ole Main in no hurry to get to the line of scrimmage, which kind of baffles me. 5, 4, will Fudge get the playoff? 3, 2, yes. They're going to satisfied to give it to Cooks. He goes right side, running hard, but he's going to get across the 45 to the 49, and the clock runs out. A very sloppy first half. A steady rain maybe has prevented some scoring. And we'll take a 2-minute break with the score. Benton, nothing. Ole Main, nothing.
Back out onto the playing surface. We have no score at halftime between Benton and North Little Rock Ole Main. Let's take this 1-minute break, and we'll be back.
It just takes a little more work now since I wrecked it a couple of months ago coming home late from work. I was tired, and I just didn't curve with road beer. Even though it was 2 a.m. when I got to the emergency department at Saline Memorial Hospital, everybody there, especially the doctor. I busted a little more than the windshield. He did a great job setting my compound fracture. I'm glad to have a good hospital so close. Saline Memorial Emergency Department. Professional care that's close to home. Oops. When you're putting in a
with the friendly guys at Lewis Supply, Jerry Peter and the friendly folks at Lewis know about the things they sell and how to help you get the most for your time and money. Come to Lewis Lumber and Supply for all the building materials you need and a lot of good know-how to go with it. Located 718 Southeast Street, Benton.
Back live in North Little Rock. No score between the Benton High School Panthers and the North Little Rock Ole Main Wildcats. A A fumble, interception. First half of play. Both teams back out on the playing surface. And now with the second half play-by-play, here's Steve Sullivan.
Any quick prediction there, Robert, before you leave us here? You've been kind of our psychic here.
It looks like whoever scores that one touchdown could win it, Steve.
I got a feeling that'll be the Panthers. Back deep, Robert McNeely, the fastest Panther, standing at the goal line, awaiting the kick. Just about set to go at the second half from North Little Rock Stadium. Ole Main trying to break into the win column, 0-2 in the season. Benton trying to hold on to its undefeated record and a top 10 ranking. Kick, a line drive. It's going to be fielded by Shane Smith at the 16. Cuts in the middle across the 25, running hard. Busts out across the 30 to the 33-yard line. First look at Shane Smith as a kick returner, and he turned it up strong.
Shane did a good job running. Next year, he may be called upon to do some running back duties for the Panthers, so it's good to see him to get a chance to run in the ball game and get a little experience with the guys chasing him.
Benton takes over at its own 34-yard line. Let's see if Tommy Jumper can get the troops going. Jake Goheen comes near side of the field in a split end spot. Tight end left side, Scott Long. The ball in the near hash mark, closest to the Ole Main sideline. Jumper turns, options left side, turns it in across the 35 to the 38, and he's driven to the ground there. It'll be second down and call it 7 yards to go. Give Tommy a gain of 3 on the option to the left side. A play that was really unsuccessful for the first time this year in the first half. Call it now a gain of 5 as they spot the football, and that perhaps the biggest gain on that play tonight.
That's the second time Benton has had success with the option. One time Jumper kept the ball, forced the defense in, and got the late pitch to Lincoln. But that's a good sign that Tommy could get yards off of it.
So it'll be second down, 5 yards to go. They spot the ball at the Benton 39-yard line. Scott Long, this time tight end right side. Jumper turns, gives, and running across the right side is Craig Lincoln. Give Craig just a gain of 2. Sticks the nose of the football across the 40 and call it now a gain of 1.5 yards and call it third and the better part of 4 yards. They try the right side on second down, the left side on first down. Let's see what Dwight Fight options here for on third down. Any guesses, Jeff Reed?
They're splitting Scott Long out, allowed a little bit from the tackle to try to give him a little more breathing room, but there's still 3 guys waiting for him.
Third down, 3 yards to go. Jumper turns, fakes. He's going to run it to the right side, the bootleg. He's got the first down. Tommy across midfield and out of bounds at the Ole Main 47-yard line. Check it, call it 48-yard line. And for the first time this game, we really see the quickness of Tommy Jumper come into play.
Steve, there was a play that may have been a pass. Like I told you, they had 3 guys on Scott Long. They've got 1 guy head up. They got a defensive back about 5 yards back, and they have another one 3 yards behind him. Scott took off downfield. Those 3 guys went with him. There came Tommy around the corner, and he easily had the first down.
Tommy, the team's leading rusher coming into the ball game, or close to leading rusher, right behind Craig Lincoln. It'll be 1st and 10 at the Ole Main 49-yard line. No score. Beautiful fake. Jumper wants to throw. Fires for Long into triple coverage. It'll be incomplete. Now, Scott was knocked down, but not before the ball was tipped by Steve McMahon. Jumper froze the defensive line with a beautiful play fake, but it was defensive back central around Scott Long.
Tommy did a good job with the bootleg there. He's wide open, came out. He might have been a little better off running the ball because Scott had a lot of people around him.
Tried to force the ball in there. Second down, 10 yards to go. Panthers in Ole Main territory at the Wildcat 49-yard line. No score as we play early in the third quarter. 1 receiver far side of the field, Jason McGee. Tight end right side is Scott Long. Jumper turns. He's going to throw. He's got time. Now the Ole Main defensive front converges and dumps Tommy at the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down and 10 yards to go, and a fired up bunch of the defensive front for Ole Main, and they've done the job.
Ole Main has done a solid job defensively. They've given up a couple of big plays, but on the other hand, they've come back and made the big plays when they've had to.
So the Panthers, once again faced with a 3rd and long, call it 10.5. The ball just inside the Ole Main 50-yard line, though the 50-yard line just outside the Ole Main 49. Check that, near side of the field, Monty Cornwell. Scott Long goes far side of the field. Jumper, play action. He's got plenty of time. Looking deep for Cornwell. Cornwell falls to the ground. The ball is incomplete and almost intercepted. No flag as Monty tripped. There was a little contact, but the referee was right on the play. and Cooksey had a chance for an interception, but they were better off that Cooksey dropped the football because he would have been down at the Ole Main 5.
Oh, that would have been a great punt for the Panthers if Cooksey had intercepted that, because he'd have been inside the 5.
So Scott Long back into punt formation for, I believe, the first time this ball game.
It is.
With 9:26 to play in the third quarter. Benton has went for several fourth downs, been unsuccessful for the most part. Scott Long stands at his own 36-yard line, awaits the snap. It's low, but Scott handles it nicely. Gets the kick off. Good kick. Immediate. Fair catch? No. Cooksey will come back upfield, and he's, watch out, down the sideline across the 45, 50, hit at the Benton 49-yard line. Now I hesitated because it looked like Cooksey called a fair catch.
Well, Steve, I thought I saw a clip down there.
No flags, so call it a big return. That was Ernest Duckley, not Cooksey with the return. Ernest Duckley, a 160-pound senior. The big punt return sets Ole Main up at the Benton 49-yard line. Fudge out, sends receivers left and right. Turns, gives to Cooksey. He's nailed at the line of scrimmage. Bounces off and is corralled by Randy Russell. Potentially a big play as Cooksey bounced off the initial hit, went outside, but Randy Russell, sure hands with the tackle, holds him to a gain of 2, and it'll be second down and 8 yards to go, and Cooksey was almost off to the races. Russell
did a good job coming from the defensive end spot on the opposite side following the play. If he hadn't have made it, it would have been big yardage.
Second down, 8 yards to go. 8:40 to play in the third quarter. The Ole Main crowd comes to life, rooting on their Wildcats. A little confusion at the line of scrimmage. Fudge takes the snap, keeps, and is nailed right there by Craig Lincoln. It'll be third down, 7 yards to go. Malfunction of the offense. Surprised there wasn't a flag. No cohesion there. Everybody going on different cadence there at almost, and as a result, it'll be third down and call it 7 yards to go for Ole Main. Wide side of the field goes Ackland, the lone wide receiver. Backs in an eye. Up back is right, deep back is Cooksey. Fudge is the quarterback, pitches to Cooksey, crosses the 45, now to the 40. Watch out, 35-yard line, inside the 30, 25-yard line, and out of bounds at the Benton 24-yard line. And a first down for Ole Main. Big play from the Wildcats. Bad tackling that time by Benton. The Panthers had plenty of opportunities to shut that play down.
Excuse me there, Steve. There were several missed tackles by the Panthers. They came with the sweep back from the to the short side of the field, and now we got a no huddle for Ole Main.
Give that carry to Charlie Scott into the game at tailback. Fudge gives to Scott again. This time he's nailed to the line of scrimmage. Randy Russell comes over from his defensive end spot and popped Scott after a gain of 1. Call it second down, 9 yards to go. They spot the ball at the Benton 24-yard line. So Ole Main threatening, 7:36, clock on the move, third quarter of a scoreless ball game, and the Panthers are in a fight. Second down, 8 yards to go. Ackland goes far side of the field. Back still in an eye as Fudge, the 6'3" quarterback, comes out. Play action. He's got time. Fires. He's got a receiver. Incomplete. He had McMahon open at the 10, and Fudge simply overthrew McMahon, and as a result, it'll be third down and 9 yards to go. Scott Long sticking his big 6'4" frame in the face of Fudge, and that could have been a very big play by Scott.
Fudge showed bootleg action there and came out and was wide open, had lots of time to throw. He had 2 receivers, as a matter of fact, to throw to, and missed both of them.
Third down, 8 yards to go. Andre Isbell in at quarterback. The tailback is Charlie Scott. Turns, gives to Scott. Scott in trouble, is going to be close to a first down as he squirts forward inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. Called about 3 yards shy, so it'll be fourth down, 3 yards to go. And decision time for Ole Main.
Sorry to say, I don't know a whole lot about the Ole Main kicking game here, but it looks like they're going to go with their offense. They've got some momentum.
Cooksey comes into the ball game. Now line up in the power I formation, and Fudge, confused, calls timeout. Awful big play. That might have been a good decision. We'll keep it right here with 6:43 to play in the third quarter. Now check that. Let's take a quick 30-second timeout with the score still 0-0. Back at North Little Rock Stadium, the host Wildcats on one knee, the offense, surrounded around their offensive coordinator, facing a big play. 4th down, 3.5 yards to go. The ball at the Benton 19, or 18 and a half. They have to get to the Benton 15 for a first down, and the defense has come up big all night tonight, Jeff, and once more they're called upon to make the big play.
They have that. You might want to look for another play-action pass with the bootleg that Ole Main ran on the last couple of plays ago. Fudge had 2 receivers. They're trying to get fired up over here.
Ole Main brings Howard Randolph in. He lines up aside Isbell in the power eye. The give to Cooksey right side. He won't have it. He's nailed behind the line of scrimmage. Kirk Shelnut delivered a lick at the line of scrimmage and flattened Cooksey.
Shelnut came in like a man possessed. He fired through the hole once he saw the play given to the tailback, and he leveled him. It's one of the best hits we've had all year.
Oh, Kirk Shelnut with the big defensive play quiets down the Ole Main faithful. A big 4th down challenge, and Benton defense rose to the challenge. Jake Goheen goes far side of the field. Benton 1st and 10 on its own 20, 6:26 clock on the move, 3rd quarter of a scoreless tie. Jumper turns, wants to throw, over the middle, intercepted. 30-yard line, 25, running across the 20-yard line, and that's where Ole Main will take over. Fine defensive play by Robert Ely, 150-pound junior. It looks like Jumper backed up about 2 yards, the short drop, and was looking for Goheen over the middle, and it was just traffic, and Ely stepped in and made the big play, and as a result, Ole Main back in business at the 20. Tommy Jumper's first interception of the season.
I think Ole Main changed his defensive scheme some. The passes over the middle had been an open territory, and all of a sudden they start to look for the slant in, and there was an Ole Main defensive back there.
6:16 to play in the 3rd quarter, and once again, Ole Main deep in Benton territory with a golden opportunity. As Bob Edmondson mentioned shortly before the second half begun, one score could win this ball game. Fudge under center, backs in an eye, turns, gives to Cooksey. He's cracked again as he tries the right side for a gain of just 1.5 yards. Kirk Shelnut in there again. 2nd down, 8 yards to go. And it looks like Kirk Shelnut has taken it upon himself just to stop Mr. Cooksey.
I think Kirk has developed a relationship there. He likes to hit him.
2nd down, 8 yards to go. Cooksey comes out. He's probably happy to be out. He's away from Shelnut. Charlie Scott in at the tailback spot. The back's in an eye. 2nd down, 8 yards to go. Fudge pitches back to Scott. Tries to string it out. He's going to be nailed behind the line of scrimmage, but it looks like there's a flag on the field, and it looks like Bill Lincoln may be called for grabbing a face mask.
I don't know, Steve. We got to wait. I thought the running back had a hold of Bill Lincoln's face mask.
So let's see which way the officials rule, and they're talking to Craig Lincoln, so obviously this one is going to go against the Ole Main Wildcats.
Bill Lincoln, once again, made a strong play at defensive end. He fought off the blocker and kept Ole Main from getting the sweep.
And it was it's going to be offsetting penalties. We're half correct. They're going to nab Lincoln for the face mask and call holding on Ole Main. So wipe everything out. We'll do it again, 2nd and 7. And that really hurts Benton. They had the play snuffed, and they had the holding penalty.
They also had Ole Main thrown for about an 8-yard loss on the play, which would have been added to the penalty.
And Bill didn't need the face mask to bring Charlie Scott down. There was good coverage out there. Cooksey back in the game at the I-back position, 2nd and 7. Cooksey gets the call, hit at the line of scrimmage and thrown down. Give him about a gain of 2 and call it 3rd down and 6 yards to go. And Greg Mundy reacting well at the middle of the line. And the I-back position has really been neutralized on this drive. It'll be 3rd down, 5 yards to go. 5:09, clock running, 3rd quarter of a scoreless game. One big play could be the difference in this.
Of course, here it doesn't take a real big play with Ole Main on the Benton 16.
3rd down, 6 yards to go. Ole Main at the 16. Here comes the blitz. Fudge throws. It's tipped and incomplete. Looked like Mundy sticking the arm up for the big deflection. The Panthers were coming on the blitz. Fudge with the short drop tried to beat it. Mundy took took a big paw, stuck it up in the air, and knocked it down. It'll be 4th down and 6 yards to go, and the defensive line doing a heck of a job right now. Lincoln and Mundy with big plays. And once again, another timeout on the field called by Ole Main. So we'll take a break with 4:51 to play in the 3rd quarter. Your score, still 0-0, Benton at Ole Main. 4th down, 5 yards to go for Ole Main. The ball at the Benton 16-yard line. Let's see if the big Panther D can rise to the challenge once more. 4:51 to play in the 3rd quarter, and now Ole Main has opted for the field goal. It will be a 33-yard attempt by Charles Green. The snap is back, the hold is down. Green's kick is up. It's no good. It might have been partially blocked at the line of scrimmage. A penalty flag is down. We'll just have to wait to see what the officials say, and there's going to be a running into the kicker call on the Panthers.
Steve, I don't understand that, because I thought Greg Mundy partially blocked the kick, and once the ball is hit, I think, not exactly that you're supposed to go hit the kicker, but I think it kind of takes off some of the protection.
The Benton coaches, led by Dwight Fite, conferring now, and Dwight will make his way down the field and express that same opinion to the referee. Nonetheless, it will be a 1st and goal to go for Ole Main at the Benton 9-yard line. 1st and goal for Ole Main on the roughing the kicker call at the Benton 9-yard line. Cooksey deep in the eye, right the up back. Quarterback sneak fudge right up the middle. He's got nothing. Mundy is right there. Give him a gain of a half a yard. Call it 2nd down. Still goal to go from the 8-yard line. You have to think at this point, Ole Main just may be playing for the field goal.
One score looks awfully big here.
4:19. Clock on the move. 3rd quarter. Ole Main 2nd and goal. Ball in the middle of the field at the Benton 7-yard line. Near side of the field comes Ackland. Fudge, confusion. All kinds of hand signals to the coaching staff. Now he quickly jumps under center. Little confusion. Fudge turns. He wants to throw. He's going to roll right side. 5-yard line, cuts in. 4-3-2, dives. He's going to be stopped at the 1. Mark at the 1.5 yards. Looked like Heath Nix, the big sophomore, came over. For a second there, it looked like Fudge might take it in.
I think the confusion there by Ole Main may have thrown Benton's defense off a little bit, because I don't think they were ready for it. Fudge almost went to the guard to take the snap.
They spot the ball at the 1. 3rd and goal to go. Ole Main. The rain has stopped falling at North Little Rock Stadium. Big 3rd and goal to go at the 1. Fudge, quarterback sneak, he's hit and thrown back. There goes the football. Benton has it. Oh, big defensive play, and the Panthers take over. I believe it might have been Greg Mundy who jumped in with the initial hit, but it's Panther football.
Boy, the defense just continues to come through.
Oh, we'll have to wait to see the films to see who delivered that lick. But it was one vicious hit. Oh, the Panthers come up big. Must be living right. 3:10 to play in the 3rd quarter. They dodge a big bullet. No score. The Panthers will take over, check it at the 2-yard line. Scott Long, come tight end right side. Jason McGee will go far to the left side. Now Tommy Jumper signaling equipment problem. They'll get the referee's timeout and a little time to gain their composure back. Momentum shifts to Benton's side. The big roughing the kicker call gave Ole Main a second life. The drive dies at the 1 on a fumble. Tommy Jumper, the senior quarterback, out. No score. Benton 98 yards away from a score. Jumper turns, gives up the middle. About 2 yards there. Have to wait till they unpile to see who exactly got the football, just into a mass of players. Kirk Shelnut. It'll be second down, 8 yards to go. Clock running, 2:28 to play in the third quarter. Dwight Fite, he rolls the dice on occasion. I wouldn't be surprised to see him pop up and maybe look for Scott Long.
They may try to go long here, although they've got things packed in pretty tight.
Goheen goes far side of the field at the split end position. Second down, 8 yards to go. Long tight end right side. Linebackers show blitz. Turn, the give. In the backfield, there's problems. And down once again goes the back, and it'll be third down and 10 yards to go. Call it a loss of a yard. Little misconnection in the backfield. Craig Lincoln got the call. And with inside 2 minutes to play in the third quarter, Benton in a tough position. Third, call it 11. They spot the ball at probably the 1.5.
Steve, you got to wonder in a situation like this, Benton's got to be hesitant to pass because Ole Main has shown a tendency to blitz its linebackers in passing situations.
McGee goes far side. Scott Long tight end right side. Jumper turns, now turns it back up inside. Football may have been lost on the play. It was. Ole Main recovered for a touchdown. Oh man, Tommy Jumper lost connection. Tony Kelly, a junior linebacker, covered the football in the end zone, and Ole Main is on the board.
Boy, you know, this has got to break the heart of the Benton defense, which has played so hard to hold it and then have a turnover give the Wildcats an easy touchdown.
It seemed on all three offensive plays there was some kind of mix-up in the connection, and Benton just not looking fluid on offense. Attributed to the wet field, wet ball, but Benton just not executing tonight.
The offense has been very lackluster.
It was kind of a wait-and-see attitude up here and in the stands. Kind of a shock waves when the referee shot his hands up in the air. Snap, and the kick is blocked the point after. May attribute that to the Ole Main kicker. Didn't exactly get a rise on the football, and that could be big. 1:24 to play in the third quarter. Your Panthers in a battle, trailing Ole Main 6-0. Let's take a 30-second break. Don't worry, Panther fans. They just like to make it exciting. Last week, sent my heart into overtime when they came back to beat McClellan. Now they have the same chore against Ole Main on a wet field in a game that has featured virtually no offense and several turnovers. 6-0, 1:24 to play in the third quarter. The defense responsible for the only score.
It was a bad, it was in a situation where we couldn't exactly see what happened. Next thing we know, Ole Main comes running out with the ball and everybody's cheering. It's dark down in that end zone.
And it was, when you watch the replay, if you do on TV, you'll see exactly what happened. Just a mass of players, then hands shot up in the air, touchdown, Ole Main. Kickoff, end over end. Be fielded by the short man, 20-yard line, 25, across the 30 to the 35-yard line. Looked like one of the Wright boys, Rodney Wright. And he gets across the 36 on a little fine return for the sophomore.
Benton comes back. The score hurts, but it also changes the field position. Benton had been trapped down in its own end. They're out around the 36-yard line. They got a chance to kind of loosen up the offense and do a few more things.
Ole Main, to this point, has taken Scott Long completely out of the ball game. 10 catches in 2 games coming in, yet to catch a pass tonight. 1st and 10 for Benton. At its own 36-yard line, trailing 6-0. Jumper turns, gives, and nailed at the line of scrimmage. Called a loss of 1 is Robert McNeely. And Ole Main is juiced up. Call it second down, 10 yards to go. Clock inside a minute to play in the third quarter. And the Panthers in need of a big play to change the momentum.
The way the Wildcat defense has been playing, they don't need a whole lot to get them started up anymore.
Second down, they now mark it right back at the initial line of scrimmage. Cornwell goes wide to the far side. Scott Long, tight end near side. Backs in the bone behind Tommy Jumper. He turns, quick drop, fires. It's going to be in and out of the hands of Monty Cornwell, who took a shot from Steve McMahon on the sidelines. The ball was there, but so was McMahon, and Monty slow to get up and would have been tough to hold on to. He took a shot right when he caught the football.
That was good timing by McMahon on the hit.
McMahon has played a heck of a ball game.
he's a defensive end, and you kind of wonder what is he doing out there on the sideline covering a pass like that. He's been everywhere.
Monty's still on the field. Doesn't look like anything serious. He's just slow to get up. Maybe he got the wind knocked out of him. It'll be 3rd down, 10 yards to go, and Monty's in fine shape. He's just going to take a breather. Goheen into the ball game, and if it was ever Scott Long time, now could be a great time for Scott to get his hands on the football some way. 3rd down, 10 yards to go. Long separates himself from Tony Gear about 3 yards on the right side. Jumper, play action, rolls right. He's got time. He's going to turn it upfield. Runs across the 40, 45, into Ole Main territory. Jumper still weaving and bobbing to the Ole Main 44. 1st down, Benton. And once again, we see the poise and savvy of Tommy Jumper. He surveyed the situation on the bootleg, saw the opening, and ran for the 1st down. And you talk about the opening, we'll credit that opening to Tommy Jumper, who did an A1 job faking the football.
He did a good job with the fake there. He had Robert McNeely out in the flat, and he had Scott Long down deep open. But, hey, he didn't want to, they needed the 1st down. He wasn't going to risk it. He took off, did a good job running.
3rd quarter ends, your score, 6-0 Ole Main. Let's take a 30-second break. Oh, and the Panther faithful who have made the trip to Ole Main's North Little Rock Stadium are up on their feet and cheering on the team. It's 1st and 10 as we start the 4th quarter. Benton at the Ole Main 44, trailing 6-0. The give to Lincoln, right side. Not much running room, but Craig fights hard for 2 or 3 yards off the right side. Call it 2nd down, 7 yards to go. As Goheen comes in with the play from Coach Dwight Fight. 11:45 to go 4th quarter. And I hate to keep on pointing back to the McClellan ball game, but I see the same circumstances. Benton rising to the challenge in the 4th quarter.
Benton has been a good 4th quarter team so far, and let's hope tonight is another night.
2nd down, 7 yards to go. Backs in a bone. Goheen comes near side of the field. Scott Long, tight end right. Play action. Jumper's got time. He's got Winfield in front of him blocking. Tommy turns. He's going to run across the 40, 35-yard line. Sticks his helmet to the 34. He is met by 3 Wildcats, but once again, it looks like Tommy Jumper has a 1st down. Yes, he does. There we see the toughness of Tommy Jumper. He took on the Ole Main Wildcat defensive backfield, about 3 of them, and that extra effort means 1st down Benton at the 34-yard line. This has not been a vintage Tommy Jumper game, but the kid is a competitor.
He is hard-nosed, and there were 3 Wildcats celebrating what they thought was a big hit, and Tommy got up like it was nothing. He's tough.
Jumper has been there before. So is Scott Long, tight end right side. He's been quiet tonight, but I can almost bet, guarantee, before this night is over, you'll hear that name, Scott Long, in a big way. 1st and 10 Panthers, threatening at the Ole Main 34, trailing 6-0. Jumper, play action, rolls, looking. He's got McNeely, now overthrows him, almost intercepted and incomplete. Call it shell nut he was looking for in the flat. Almost intercepted, flying up from the defensive backfield. Curtis Carter almost came up with another big play.
I don't think Carter was looking for the interception, or he might have got it there. He saw Shelnut in the flat and was going for the big hit, and the ball hit him.
Ball just slightly overthrown by Tommy. It'll be 2nd down, 10 yards to go. The 1st down pass attempt comes up empty. Jason McGee brings the play in from Coach Dwight Fight. Ball in the near hash mark, closest to the Ole Main fans. That's where McGee lines up split. Tight end right side is Scott Long. Jumper, play action, looking. He's going to have to turn it up and eat the football. And nailed behind the line of scrimmage, called a loss of 1. 3rd down, 11 yards to go. And once again, it looked like Tommy was looking for Scott Long, but Scott caught in traffic.
You can't blame Tommy for having a tendency to looking for Scott, because so many times he's come through with the big play. But perhaps he might be looking just a little bit too long, and it's giving Ole Main a chance to get some pressure on him.
Tommy a little trouble with his headgear and getting a little assistance from one of the officials. Third down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the Ole Main 35-yard line. Third called 11. Interesting call coming up if Benton's unsuccessful here. Your field position, crucial, as we found out in that 1-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown. Third down, 10 yards to go. Called 11 now. Goheen goes wide to the far side. Scott Long now splits out near side. Back still in the bone. Jumper, turns, rolls right. He's going to throw, flyers it over to Shelnut in the flat. Kirk makes the catch for a loss of 3. Fourth down, 13 yards to go. Kirk shows good hands on a play where we really didn't need the good hands. Fourth down, 15 yards to go. Monty Cornwell comes in with the play, and Dwight Fite refuses to give up on this offense.
He does. He's given them plenty of opportunities.
Fourth down, 15 yards to go. Cornwell comes wide to the near side, draws one-on-one coverage. Scott Long, tight end right side, draws probably 4 Ole Main Wildcats. Fourth and 15, jumper, makes 2 fakes. Back to midfield, looking, fires deep for Cornwell. Monty goes for the football, incomplete. Ole Main will take over. Cornwell with a tremendous effort to try to come up with that football. The ball was thrown inside, closest to the defender. Cornwell did his best to work his 6'3" frame over the defender to get the football. And with 9:58 to go, Ole Main takes over with the ball at its own 39-yard line. One score, one more score, and this one is in the books.
Pressure's definitely on the Benton defense.
Let's see what Ole Main could do with the football. They lead 6-0. Offense hasn't been on the field much in this second half. Fudge gives to Charlie Scott. Hit a couple of times the line of scrimmage. Called a gain of 1.5 yards, maybe 2. Randy Russell, Scott Long, Kirk Shelnut done a good job on defense tonight. Heath Nix in there. Called a gain of 2.5. Call it 2nd and 7.5. They spot the football at the Ole Main 42-yard line. The clock is a factor. 9:36 to go in the ball game. A couple of first downs by Ole Main, and the Panthers will be in deep trouble.
Benton needs to get the ball back.
Ackland comes wide to the right side. Back still in the eye. Fudge turns, gives right up the middle to his fullback right. Nothing there. Caught a gain of 2. Call it third down, 5.5 yards to go. Andre Isbell, check that, got the call into the football game. It'll be third down, 5 yards to go. Another big play for the Benton defense. The ball spotted at the Ole Main 44-yard line. Have to get just outside the 48 for a first down. So call it third and maybe 4.5 yards to go. Clock, 8:58, on the move. Ackland comes wide to the near side of the field. Draws one-on-one coverage from Monty Cornwell. Fudge turns. He's going to take it himself. He's going to get a first down. Fudge still running. Finally dumped at the Benton 48-yard line by Heath Nix. Once again, the Panthers had their chances to get the Fudge, but the quarterback managed to work his way forward. A fine run by the senior quarterback.
Bobby Van Cleve came blitzing in, and he buried the fullback there. But Fudge saw him coming and faked and pulled it out and then took off in the hole that was intended for the fullback.
Officials timeout with 8:38 to play in the ball game. Checking Bobby Van Cleve's helmet. A lot of trouble with equipment tonight. A lot of troubles on offense. As a result, the Panthers in danger of losing their first game of the 1987 season, trailing 6-0, 8:26 to go in the ball game. Receivers go wide left and wide right. Back still in the eye. Fudge turns, gives to the up back, the fullback. He's hit a couple of times and thrown down after a gain of 1. Once again, the inside defensive front doing a good job controlling Isbell, Randy Russell, Scott Long, Kirk Shelnut. Defensive line, 3 or 4 Panthers doing a good job. It'll be second down, 7.5, and across the way, the Benton faithful silent at this point as they watch the clock run down inside 8 minutes.
It's up to the Benton defense to not only get the ball back, they've got to do something to get some emotion back in the team. It looks like a dead team.
Fudge pitches back to Scott, turns upfield. He's hit hard. There goes the football. Scramble. Let's see who has the football. Referee quick to signal. Still Ole Main football. Call it no gain. Big recovery And once again, it's Steve McMahon, and the ball was indeed loose. It'll be 3rd down, 7.5 yards to go. Didn't quite catch who made the hit, but there was a good stick by the Benton defense.
The running back there was spinning, and I think 2 or 3 of them got a shot at him.
3rd down, 7.5. Near side of the field, Phillips comes lone split end. Back still in the eye. Fudge turns. It'll be Scott on the draw. He's coming forward, close to a 1st down, but he's nailed far shy now, called at the 42. Good defensive play coming up from the secondary spot by Robert McNeely. Didn't bite for the blitz at all, for the draw at all. Randy Russell also with the defensive play. It'll be 4th down, 3.5 yards to go. The ball at the Benton 41-yard line. A good punt here by Isbell. And the Panthers would be in deep trouble with 6:38 to go.
Ole Main has got the lead now, so now it is just going to playing field position football, trying to put Benton deep in a hole.
Isbell stands at his own 45. Tommy Jumper back at the 10. The snap is good. Here comes Mundy. Won't get to the football. It'll bounce at the 15, 10. Jumper to one knee and takes it at the 10. Benton 90 yards away from the goal line. 6:22 to go in the game. If the Panthers are going to do it, they better do it now. They trail 6-0. The only score in this ball game, a fumble recovery in the end zone. After Ole Main backed Benton up, Panthers were working the shadow of their own goalpost at the 1. 3rd down, the fumble, and the recovery, touchdown, and that's been the only score. The point after was missed. Ball far side of the field. Have to look a long way to see this action. 1st down. Ball at the Panther 10-yard line. Jumper turns, gives to Lincoln. He'll cut across the 12 to the 13. 2nd down, 7 yards to go. Those running plays chew the clock. 5:54 to play in the game. One key statistic, Scott Long yet to catch a football tonight. Credit a good job by the Ole Main defense.
But you got to also think the odds. How can Scott be held, how can he be shut out? So you got to think the odds are with us.
They gotta be. Goheen comes near side of the field. 2nd down, 7 yards to go. Scott Long, tight end, far side of the field. Jumper turns, options, pitches back. Cutting up field to Shelnut. He's met and thrown back. Called a gain of maybe 2. The ball gets out to the 15. It'll be 3rd down, 5 yards to go. Fine defensive play. Kirk Shelnut got stood up outside, trying to drive forward. Call it now 3rd and 4, and a big offensive play for Benton with 5:02 clock running to play in the ball game. 6-0 Ole Main. Panthers, if they're going to come to life, they better do it quick. They trail 6-0. Cornwell, wide near side of the field. Jumper, under center, turns, options, wants to throw, fires for long in traffic. In and out of Scott's hands, incomplete. Oh, Scott had the football, kind of played with it, juggling it, and couldn't come up with it. And here comes the punt team, and those are the plays you come to expect from Scott Long.
We've seen him make them too many times, and there's a little disappointment in you because when you see the spectacular play made, you expect it to be happening all the time. But that was a tough catch. It was a tough throw, and he was spinning trying to catch the ball.
Fours are wild on the scoreboard. 4:44 to play. 4th and 4. Scott Long stands back at his goal line to punt. Now rushing onto the field, a Panther. They were short one on the kick team. Low snap. Scott does a good job handling it. Line drive punt. It's going to bounce and roll to midfield. It's going to be down at the 48 of Benton, and that's where Ole Main will take over. Ernest Duckley, 160-pound senior, backed off from the football and says, no way I'm going to take a chance of blowing this football game, a 6-0 lead with 4:35 to play. Ole Main, 4 minutes 35 seconds away from its first win of the season. 6-0, your score, Wildcats over Panthers. Offenses have combined for, get this, 0 touchdowns tonight. Ole Main defense responsible for the only score. Charlie Scott hammered at the line of scrimmage on 1st down. Scott Long is in there. Randy Russell. It'll be 2nd down. Give him maybe a gain of 1.5. Call it 2nd, 8.5. Greg Mundy, we mentioned his name again. Fine sophomore. 2nd down, 8.5 yards to go. Clock, 4 minutes to play in the game.
Benton cannot afford to allow Ole Main to make any first downs. They've got to stop them here.
Phillips comes near side of the field. Back still in the eye. Fudge. Option keeps it right side. Nailed at the line of scrimmage. Fudge just concerned about holding on to the football. Scott Long, Greg Mundy. It'll be 3rd down, 7 yards to go. And we see some of Fudge's effectiveness being taken away because his sole concern is not getting the first down, but holding on to the football.
Ole Main does not want to give up a turnover here to put Benton back in this game. As now they've got the upper edge, they've got the Panthers whip. They're just trying to hold on to it.
The ball at the Panther 46-yard line. It's 3rd down, the better part of 7 yards to go for Ole Main. Greg Fudge stands straight up, now goes under center, turns, pitches to Cooksey, runs wide. He's nailed by Randy Russell in the backfield. Call it a loss of 2. Russell says hello along with Craig Lincoln, and the clock will stop. Oh, big play. Why you're running wide?
Excuse me, that was a good play there. I guess they were expecting they'd gone conservative the first 2 plays, thought they might could get something open or outside, and Benton did a good job. When they hit Cooksey, they forced him out of bounds and stopped the clock, and it saved them about 30 seconds. That could turn out to be a key.
4th and 9. If you're Cooksey, Greg Burrow is saying, turn it in. Turn it in. Keep that clock running. Let's see if Panthers come after the kicker. Kick is off. Tommy's going to have to sprint over. Makes the catch and goes to his knee at the 12. Oh, it looked like Tommy had running room, but he didn't want to take the chance. And as a result, with 3:01 to play in the ball game, the Panthers are 88 yards away from win number 3. Oh, and you have to think Tommy had a shot to run with that football, but I guess his primary concern, the ball was hit on an angle, and he had to do a good job just getting to the football.
You got to catch it first before you can run with it, and I think that was Tommy's number 1 concern.
Goheen, wide to the near side. Scott Long, tight end right. Jumper turns, gives up the middle, running room, watch out, it's Lincoln, 45, 46-yard line. Oh, as Craig Lincoln busted 34 yards right up the gut. 2:53 to play. And maybe Ole Main was thinking big, counter thinking from Dwight Fite, and Craig was running hard. The Panthers aren't dead yet. The faithful come to their feet across the way. It's 1st and 10 Benton on its own 46, 2:51, clock on the move. Panthers trailing 6-0. McGee wide to the far side. Jumper turns, Shellnut right side. Call it a gain of 2, call it 2nd and 8, and almost a missed handoff. Jumper had to lunge forward to get the ball to Shellnut. Oh, yes, we've seen the ball on the ground too much. Quick huddle, 2nd down, 7 yards to go. 2:28 to go in the ball game. They spot the ball at the 49-yard line. Benton in its own territory, 51 yards away from the tying score. Pitch right side, Lincoln running room. Across midfield, slips and falls. It'll be 3rd and 6. And Craig had running room.
You got to wonder about Craig wanting to cut back in. You know, in the flow of a game, you forget about a lot of things. But where Ole Main did not need to stay wide a while ago so they could get knocked out of bounds, Benton needs to. Benton needs to stop the clock whenever it can.
Quick timeout. Dwight Fite onto the field. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout. Your score, Ole Main 6, Benton nothing. 3rd down, 6 yards to go. 2:08 to play in the ball game. The ball at midfield. Panthers need to get to the Ole Main 44-yard line. 2 tries, 3rd and 4th down. They don't get it, it's showtime and loss number 1. Panthers have yet to fail me in 87. Somehow, I believe, Jeff Breed, they're going to pull it out.
We had a miracle last week, and they need another one now.
The Fighting Panthers, 3rd down, 6 yards to go. Jumper, beautiful peg, bootlegs it, makes a move inside. He's going to be hit, still moving. Jumper goes right sideline. He's back to the line of scrimmage, cuts for 2, he's still moving. A yard shy of the first down. A tremendous effort by Tommy Jumper. Now there's a scramble, and they're going to give Ole Main the football and the fumble.
I have never seen one runner make a more determined effort on the play. The Benton coaches don't... Well, there's number 4 with the ball.
I apologize for the lack of fumble call, but there really was no indication there was any fumble till a signal. It was way across the field in front of the Panther sideline, and the Panthers in deep trouble with 1:50 to go in the game. Oh, 6th and 7th effort cost Tommy Jumper. 1:45, clock on the move. 1:40. Ole Main on its own 46. Fudge, O'Keefe, nailed at the line of scrimmage, but he holds on to the football. 2nd down, 9 yards to go. But more importantly, the clock, 1:25, still running. And it'll take a miracle. I believe Benton has burned their timeouts. Used at least one.
I was thinking they still had some. They may be waiting to use it after 2nd down.
2nd down, 8.5 yards to go. Fudge taking his time. Turns, gives to Scott. Hit at the line of scrimmage, called a gain of 2. It'll be 3rd down, and now the timeout quickly called from the sideline with 51 seconds to go in the ball game. We go back to that fumble call, and from up here, we couldn't have had any worse view.
It looked like Benton was on the verge of making a big play. Jumper had scrambled to his left side and had broken away from 3 or 4 guys and was starting to scramble back from his right side, and he had like 4 or 5 Panther linemen there just waiting on him, and there was like 2 Ole Main defenders, and it looked like the odds were against him, and I thought he was getting ready to break it big, but somehow in there, a guy hit him and forced the fumble, and it was behind all the Benton linemen, and we never even saw the ball break free.
The Ole Main following in the same boat. Like they didn't see fumbled almost after the play. To the signal. It'll be 3rd down, 6 yards to go, 51 seconds to go in the ball game. Ole Main nursing a 6-0 lead with the ball on its own 49-yard line. Benton in need of a miracle. Quarterback Fudge brings out the Wildcats. The pep squad from Ole Main on its feet, sensing victory number 1 of the season. Fudge turns, gives to Scott, up the middle, running hard. Gain of 3 yards for he snowed under. Several Panthers combined for the tackle, and once again the quick timeout call. 9 seconds that play, and it will bring up a 4th down situation and an interesting decision for Greg Burrell. Do you test the punt, chancy play, or do you just take it into the middle and burn the clock?
I would think the way Ole Main's playing, they have no choice but to punt and try to make the Panthers go 90 yards in 30 seconds.
4th down, 3.5, 4 yards to go. Wholesale substitutions for Ole Main, which would indicate punt. The ball sitting at the Benton 42-yard line. And if they do opt for the punt, I wouldn't be surprised to see 11 Panthers going for the football.
I don't see anybody going back deep. Now Tommy's headed back there. There'll be 10 Panthers at the line.
Oh, let's hope 10 is enough. 42 seconds to go in the ball game. Ole Main with a 4-0 lead. The center goes to one knee, perhaps saying a prayer before he snaps this football. Oh, could Benton use a bad snap? 4th down, 4 yards to go. The first time I've seen a center go to one knee, it looked like he was praying at the 45, so he must be a little concerned.
He may be.
Phillips back at his own 40. The snap, high, here comes the rush. They won't get it. Line drive kick. Jumper fields it at the 15, has trouble handling it. Now he's going to be hit and nailed. Tommy backing up is finally going to go down inside the 20 at the 19-yard line. They'll mark it dead at the 20, 80 yards away with 30 seconds to go. "30 seconds to go.
Steve, I believe we're on the 14.
Check that, yeah, 14-yard line. 15-yard line. My eyes are failing me with 24 seconds. The clock is moving. Got to snap the football. 20 seconds. Still waiting to call the play. 17 seconds. 16. 15. Tommy finally gets the snap. Drops back to throw. Looking. Fires for Scott. Almost intercepted. It was dropped at the 40-yard line. 7 seconds left. And even the most die-hard Benton Panther fan I'd have to think the situation is hopeless at this point.
This has got to be the play because I don't think we've got anybody that can run the length of the field in 7 seconds.
Oh, man. If you had a script for a nightmare, this would be it. The defense doesn't deserve this. 6-0, the only score, a recovered fumble in the end zone. Here we go, 7 seconds to go. Back still in a bone. Jumper, straight back to throw. He's gonna screen it over to Shellnut, incomplete with 2 seconds to play. Those just aren't gonna get it. Dwight's thinking obvious. He's hoping Shellnut can get a one-on-one situation and somehow just bust it big. At this point, everybody thinks BAMM.
You think, Steve, they may be calling the McClellan deflected pass special on this one?
80 yards worth. It was 50 last week. The Ole Main defenders in a triangle at midfield. A diamond, I should say. Jumper, back. This is the last chance. The reverse to Scott Long. He's going to throw deep. Fires. No one around. It's picked off at the 35, 30. It's over. Ole Main 6, Benton nothing. Let's take a 2-minute break. Panther broadcast crew back at North Little Rock Stadium. Major upset if you go by the rankings. Benton just about in everybody's top 10. Stunned 6-0 by a previously winless Ole Main team. The final 6-0, the only score, a fumble recovery in the end zone with 1:24 to play in the third quarter.
Steve, the game boiled down to Benton's inability to hold on to the football.
You know all the reasons you should quit smoking, but let's face it, smoking is one tough habit to break. How many times have you said to yourself, this is my last cigarette, I quit, I'm through, only to give in and light up again? As a former smoker, I know what it's like to be controlled by the psychological need to smoke and the nagging addiction to nicotine. But you can break the habit with Cigarest. Cigarest gives you the strongest non-prescription formula available to help you break nicotine dependence. And the easy-to-follow, proven program guarantees you will stop smoking in just 7 short days or your money back. The Cigarest plan teaches you to say no to smoking in virtually any situation without gaining weight, without withdrawal, and without spending hundreds of dollars.
After smoking for 25 years, I finally quit, thanks to the cigarettes plan.
The cigarettes plan was simple and it worked.
After smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day for 50 years, I'm starting this year smoke-free, thanks to Cigarest.
If you want to quit smoking, try Cigarest.
Now you can stop, and stop forever with Cigarest. A powerful, proven plan that overcomes both the physical and psychological withdrawals of smoking, and at a price far below what you would pay at Smoke Enders or Schick. If you want to stop smoking, don't put it off. It's the most important decision you'll make all year. Call Cigarest now.
You can arrest the smoking habit forever with Cigarest, a proven 7-day program that guarantees to break your physical and psychological addiction to smoking or your money back. Our operators are standing by. Save COD fees, use your credit card, and call toll-free 1-800-922-8700 or send $19.95 plus $4 postage and handling to Cigarest, Box 4444, Carlsbad, California, 92008.
I stopped smoking, and you can too. Call Cigarest now.
Gear up for the high fly and excitement of Motor World as TNN brings you comprehensive coverage of the most sensational forms of motorcycle competition and events. Veteran commentator Larry Myers hosts this behind-the-scenes look at the fast-paced world of motorcycling. From the wild action of motocross to Grand Prix road racing, Motor World takes you trackside for it all. Sports Sunday at 2 a.m. Eastern, 1 Central, and 11 p.m. Pacific on TNN.
Put on your dancing boots, get ready for some fancy footwork, some terrific terpsichore. We're stepping out to America's heartland, where Deborah Merlin will promenade us through a recent national dance contest.
Memorial Day weekend in Wichita, Kansas is host to the first annual Grand National Country and Western Dance-Off. And to quote Katie Lang, to dance is human, to polka divine.
But polka wasn't the only dance being done. There were many styles represented throughout the weekend, and each contestant had their favorite.
We like the cowboy boogie. That's our favorite.
The open division, and our particular style is a pony swing that we do in Arizona.
You ready?
Well, mine would be a two-step.
Well, for me, it's the swing. I believe for Phil, it's the waltz.
Hey, bartender. Hey, man, look at here. Hey, draw 1, draw 2, draw 3 more glasses of beer.
The waltz.
You look so good in love. You want him? That's easy to see. You look so good in love. I wish you still wanted me.
The event, sponsored by Pepsi and Shepler's Western Wear, began Saturday with couple and group competition.
Contestants, if you will, please take your respective places out on the dance floor.
Topping Saturday's activities were performances by show and entertainment group competitors.
Now we're not you the one who told me Colorado was the place to be.
On Sunday, the contest continued. The judges spent careful time critiquing the dancers, each looking for something different.
I watched for the smoothness, whether the dancers were together as far as the tempo and the beat of the music.
Smoothness, quality of their turns, their feet movements.
Well, I'm looking for showmanship. And when we have couples going, the couples need to be one with the music.
Well, we're here for appearance and showmanship. So I look for how they appear to an audience, if their smiles, their attitude towards each other. That's what I look for.
Throughout the day, in addition to the competition, contestants shared time in open dance, workshops, and practice. In the couples competition, 5 finalists in the amateur division and 3 in the professional division were chosen. And the winners were...
Well, we was having so much fun, I didn't know it was 1:30.
Phil and Carol Shaka from Petaluma, California, who danced their way to the top in the amateur division.
Hey, bartender, hey, man, hey, bartender.
Carrie and Brandon Hill, also from Petaluma, California, wowed the judges to #1 in the professional category.
And to him it appears that the moon is still over the shore.
In group competition for both precision and show and entertainment, Dance West from Rockville, Maryland, took home the trophies. Lots of hard work went into the contest, but the main ingredient evident the entire weekend was fun.
Do you want to party?
As if the weekend didn't hold enough excitement, prior to the awards banquet on Monday, contest organizers Jim Farrell and Marty Green said their wedding vows before family and friends.
Somebody's heart could be breaking.
Well, the competitors clicked their heels, ended up in Kansas, and some walked away with the prize. But there'll be other chances, because country and western dance is definitely on the swing.
Next Saturday, the 4th of July, will be filled with country music concerts from coast to coast. Keep your eye on the one at Jones Country. It could be special. The last time George Jones got all his friends together on Memorial Day, the #1 duet team in the history of country music began a summer-long tour. And Joe Elmore was there.
I said when you left, I could make it by myself, but it gets harder all the time.
She is the reigning queen of country music, the singing lady from Butcher Hollow, Kentucky, who came to Music City and captured all the major awards.
I don't know a thing about love. I just kinda hang here above.
He is the man with the golden touch. As both a pop and country artist, he's sung on well over 50 #1 records. Together, Loretta and Conway made up one of the most successful and exciting country duets of the 70s.
Here with you is where I want to be. I'm loving what your loving does to me.
Because of busy solo careers, the duet broke up several years ago. However, this summer, they're back touring together again. In fact, we caught up with them in a remote area of Texas known as the Pine Belt.
It's an area where pine trees surround lush meadows, where warm weather lures country music lovers and their RVs to nearby George Jones Country. On Memorial Day weekend, the RVs and campers were bumper to bumper. And Saturday night, there was an overflow crowd at the Possum Hollow Ballroom, where inside the famous owner was sitting in.
I started loving you again.
Next day, the country campers and other music fans converged at the outdoor amphitheater for an afternoon of music and even a little impromptu dancing. But the main event was the main lady of country music herself, Miss Loretta Lynn.
But there's a boneyard shove up in your hand. If your eyes are on me, you're looking at country. Terry, get it.
Loretta's got a summer full of tour dates, but her mind's also been in the studio, getting ready for a recording reunion with Conway.
You know, when we record, you never know what we're going to do.
Do you have any particular songs that you've been wanting to do, though?
Oh, a couple. But we can't talk about them now.
Is it a secret?
Wouldn't be no surprise if I told you.
Conway was equally happy about working with his old singing partner once again.
That's always a lot of fun. Anytime you do anything with Loretta, record, whether it be in the studio or out here doing concerts. She keeps you on your toes.
When Conway hit the stage, even a thunderstorm couldn't run away the damp yet dedicated fans.
How it must have hurt you, waiting for your love to be returned.
Finally, the long-awaited finale. Conway and Loretta together again.
Glad to stand still. Your love shook it up. You made me see what I missed. Now I can't do nothing.
It's so bright in your world. You set my heart on gold. On the coldest day of winter, Lord, I love with them.
While the fans await the results of their next album, everyone was happy to witness the music of these two superstars, whose stars have crossed once again.
If you love a mystery, can't resist an unsolved murder, you know who's the most popular mystery writer of all time. Agatha Christie. A classic puzzle, Murder on the Orient Express. We'd like to send you this new hardcover edition of Murder on the Orient Express to introduce you to the Agatha Christie Mystery Collection. Call now and get the classic Murder on the Orient Express to examine free for 10 days.
Murder on the Orient Express is yours to examine free for 10 days. Call 1-800-221-2100. Should you decide to keep it, all you pay is $9.95 plus postage and handling. Then you'll automatically receive another Agatha Christie mystery once a month for a 10-day examination. You may return any copy, stop, whenever you want. Call 1-800-221-2100.
Howdy, I'm Grandpa Jones. We're country and proud of it here at TNN.
Well, that's our show for this week. Thanks for being with us. Next week here on Wraparound, the Forrester sisters, Loretta Lynn talks about fans, and of course, some fireworks. Till then, we invite your correspondence at Wraparound Nashville, 2806 Opryland Drive, Nashville, Tennessee, 37214. Till next Saturday, this is Walt Adams. So long from Music City and Wraparound Nashville.
Hi, I'm Hoyt Axton, and if it's hot in the country, you can bet it's right here on TNN.
May I reiterate, my position is microwave your wrapped bacon and the world will beat a path to your teepee.
I'll microwave when pigs rent timeshare styes. The stove is the only natural setting for wrapped bacon, slow and easy.
I'll have my bacon burger half eaten by the time you get your burner warmed. Slow and easy is for slug racers.
Well, Chief, this debate should be decided by the American public. Let's let them vote for their favorite method.
Okay, fine. If you like your wrapped bacon cooked crispy in a microwave, write microwave on a postcard.
And if you like your wrapped bacon hot from the stove, write stove on a postcard.
Send your postcard to the Great Wrapped Bacon Debate, P.O. Box 12, Nashville, Tennessee, 37202.
Vote as often as you like, but each postcard must be mailed separately.
And your vote must be received by July 30th, 1987, so vote early.
Then watch Nashville Now on Friday, July 31st to see who wins. And if you're on the winning side, you could win a trip to Nashville to meet us.
And somebody from each side will win a stove or microwave, plus an assortment of great tasting Wrath products.
Or one of these great second and third prizes. So hurry and vote stove!
Microwave!
You're watching America's Country Home, TNN, the Nashville Network. TNN is owned and operated by Opryland USA Incorporated, a subsidiary of Gaylord Broadcasting. Our facilities are located in Nashville, Tennessee. While this concludes our regularly scheduled program day, we invite you to stay tuned right where you are for more special programs and informative announcements.
Have you ever felt that something was holding you back, stopping you from having what you want out of life? Do other people seem to have more success than you? When you know you're just as smart, have just as much ability? Have you ever spoiled your own chances for success by putting things off to the last minute or not taking action at all? Have you ever given up on changing your life? Think it's too late or it's just not meant to be? Then we urge you to stay tuned for the next 60 minutes, because this show could change your life.
It gave me the courage and the direction to change my life in a very, very positive way.
I worked in a private school in New Orleans and made $10,000 a year. Now, running my own company, I make more than that every month.
Thousands of people have changed their unconscious script, developed greater happiness, better relationships, more money, and I'm very pleased with the results.
Imagine waking up every morning and being able to say to yourself, I love my life. I love who I am. I can't wait to see what this day holds for me. That's what the Mental Bank does.
If you've ever wished your life could be different, ever dreamed of more financial success, more satisfying personal relationships, even more confidence and independence, get ready to learn how success, happiness, and prosperity can truly be yours, as we proudly present Success is Not an Accident, the Mental Bank Concept. Starring Danielle Durant, nationally known lecturer, instructor, and teacher of the revolutionary Mental Bank Concept. Danielle has a degree in clinical psychology from UCLA and has helped change the lives of thousands through her Mental Bank seminars and personal appearances on TV and radio shows from coast to coast. Dr. John Kappas, distinguished psychotherapist, author, and the creator of the Mental Bank Concept, with special guest Florence Henderson, star of The Brady Bunch and her own new talk show. And now, here's your host, Richard Southern.
Hi, everyone. I'm Richard Southern, your host for Success is Not an Accident, the show that's all about the exciting and unique mental bank concept, all about how you can finally achieve the success, prosperity, and happiness you've wished for all your life. We have some wonderful guests, including a very special celebrity guest star you'll be meeting later in the show. Right now, I am proud to introduce one of America's best-known and respected clinical hypnotherapists with a story that can actually change your life. Let's welcome Ms. Danielle Durant.
What a privilege it is to be here today and to be able to talk to you about success. I'd like you to do a little soul searching right now. I'm going to ask you some questions. And if the answer is yes, I want you to raise your hand and just shout out yes, okay? How many of you would like to be more successful? Let's see it. Where's the yes? How many of you would like to have more satisfying love relationships? Let's see that. Ah. How many of you would like to be rich? I want to see that one. I think that won the vote. Ask yourself something. If your life isn't exactly the way you want it right now, why not? If you only knew that your life can be anything you want it to be, you have the power to create whatever it is you want in your life. And it's a power you already possess. We've heard about it for centuries, the power of your own mind. To give you an illustration, how many times have we heard about the person who cures themselves of an illness, cures themselves of disease after being told by the doctors that they were terminal and had a few months to live? How do these things happen? They happen because something tapped that power, something triggered it, the power that you have. And maybe you're saying to yourself, wow, this sounds great, but if my mind is so powerful, why is my life such a mess? Why do I have the problems I have? Why do I feel frustrated? Why aren't I making the amount of money I want? Why am I unsuccessful? Why do I feel like a failure? You see, you have a force that is so powerful in the subconscious part of your mind, below your awareness. That force defies your desires, goes against your willpower, goes against logic and reason. And we are going to show you why this is true, and also share with you how you can get into that power and use it. I know Richard is waiting for me. We have so much to share with you today. I know you will find it fascinating. Thank you.
Danielle, well, please sit. I'm so glad to have you here today to talk about this. Now, the thing that you were mentioning right there at the end makes me think of a question right away. Why would our own subconscious mind work against us? I mean, it's part of us. Why would it be out there trying to destroy what we set out to do?
Well, actually, Richard, did you ever take physics or chemistry when you were back in school?
Chemistry in high school. I made a D.
Okay. Do you remember the equations that you had to memorize,
Right,
the long
right.
equations? All right, what they were trying to teach us in those days, that life has law and order. Right. There are laws that govern life, nature, the universe. And we also have laws of the mind, and one of them being the law of cause and effect, meaning that, let's say, if you had a tomato seed and you put that seed in the ground, now you would know and expect that seed to be a tomato,
We'll grow
right?
a tomato, right?
Right.
Yes.
I mean, the seed doesn't sit in the ground and wonder what it's going to be when it grows up. It's programmed to be a tomato. Can't be anything else. It's the same thing with your subconscious mind. What it's programmed to be, it will be. It has no more choice than that little seed sitting in the ground. What goes in is exactly what comes out. You see, your subconscious mind is like a goal machine. It's programmed to do a job, and it is performing very well. You see, your subconscious mind couldn't care less whether you are happy or unhappy, rich or poor, whether you are a success or a failure. It doesn't care. If your subconscious is programmed for failure, you'll be a success at being a failure. If your subconscious is programmed that you don't deserve to be loved, you'll be a success at sabotaging your relationships, setting yourself up to be rejected, or maybe picking the wrong people to be in relationships with. If your subconscious is programmed that you're incompetent, maybe you'll be a success at losing your jobs, mismanaging your money.
All right, if
you
that's...
see, whatever's in the subconscious comes out. That's
Okay.
the law.
If that's the why, then how does it come out? How does the subconscious work against us? Could you give me some concrete, specific examples?
Sure. Let's say that you have a goal, and let's say that that goal is you want to lose weight, all right? Now, you go on a diet, your intentions are, you know, honorable, and just as you start to lose weight and you begin to see results, you start eating cookies in the closet 2 o'clock in the morning, see? You begin to binge, you start overeating again, you miss your exercise classes, all unconscious sabotage.
As a man who signed up for an aerobics class and then proceeded to miss most of them and feeling lousy because I missed them, let me ask you something. Can this sabotage our success, this very attitude?
Absolutely. You see, your subconscious sabotages different areas of your life. Let's say in the area of success. Let's say that you're consistently late to important appointments, or you misplace your briefcase and lose your documents, or you get sick the day of an important sales presentation. You wait until the last minute to start an important project. You lose your lead client list and phone numbers.
So all of these are instant, just single instances of things where the subconscious traps you.
Well, but you have to look at it as if it were a pattern. If you
What about
consistently do these things.
Do we do that in relationships?
I had a client come into me, a woman, one time for counseling, and the highest priority in her life was to have a happy, fulfilling relationship with her husband, who she loved very much.
Right.
But what did she do? She criticized him, she insulted him, she picked fights, she tried to change him, she became possessive and jealous, she made excuses not to have sex, she gave him the silent treatment to punish him for things he didn't do.
So, excuse me for interrupting, but while she said, what I want is a loving, lasting relationship, what she actually set out to achieve was the opposite.
Unconsciously. Right. It's unconscious sabotage.
Now, I think the one way we all measure a certain level of success is by our money, by our income. Will the subconscious destroy or sabotage our attempts to get
wealthy? Absolutely. Let's say your goal is to become wealthy, but instead you keep yourself heavily in debt, or maybe you spend your money as fast as you get it. Maybe you lose your money. You're unconsciously attracted to bad investments and bad business ventures, and you lose it. Or you may mismanage your money.
Yep.
See, all, again,